As the contest preparation started, the other girls became more proud and louder. Ngozi and her friends would walk past Good News, twisting their waists and laughing. Sometimes they would stop and say, "Better stay home and watch us on stage. This contest is not for people like you." Good News kept quiet, but in her heart, something had changed. She no longer wanted to run. She wanted to surprise them. Every night, she stood before her mirror, tied her wrapper neatly, and practiced her walk. She repeated cultural questions her grandmother had taught her, like, how many types of food do we have in Ubakala? How do we welcome in-laws when they come to marry? What makes our community special? Chiamaka would sit beside her, nodding and clapping. Yes, speak with confidence. You know these things better than all of them. One night, after practicing, Good News stepped outside her room. The sky was dark and quiet. She lifted her face and breathed in deeply. She remembered all the mockery, all the laughter, all the names they had called her. They will see, she whispered to herself. They will all see that I'm more than my forehead. She didn't know exactly what was waiting for her at the contest, but one thing was clear. This was the beginning of something she had never experienced before. The day everyone had been waiting for finally came. Ubakala community was in a festive mood. Drums sounded from different corners. Women tied their best wrappers, men wore clean native clothes, and many people rushed towards Chief Agu's compound where the contest would take place. The large compound was decorated with colorful cloths and palm leaves. Plastic chairs were arranged neatly under big canopies. At the front stood a stage covered with a red carpet. Loudspeakers were fixed in the corners and music played softly in the background. The 5 contestants, Ngozi, Amarachi, Chisom, Oluchi, and Good News, gathered at the back of the stage, waiting nervously. Ngozi and her friends whispered to each other. She looked at Good News and laughed loudly on purpose. "Forehead Queen, are you ready for embarrassment today?" she said. Her friends covered their mouths as they laughed. Good News heard them. Her chest trembled a bit, but she quickly remembered what her mother told her. She lifted her chin slightly and stood still. Chiamaka came to meet her at the waiting area. She touched her shoulder and said softly, "Don't look at their faces. Focus. Just be yourself. You have prepared well. Remember all you practiced." Good News nodded slowly. Her heart was beating fast, but her spirit was calm. Soon, Chief Agu, the richest man in the community, arrived in his big black car. As he stepped out, people clapped and shouted his name. He wore a long white outfit, red beads around his neck, and a red cap. 2 men held ceremonial fans as they followed him to his seat. When he sat, the master of ceremony took the microphone and shouted, "Ubakala people, are you ready for this year's beauty and culture contest?" The crowd shouted back, "Yes!" The master of ceremony continued, "We have 5 beautiful ladies who will show us their beauty, their knowledge, and their pride in our culture. At the end, the best will go home with 100,000 naira and a house in the city. Let us welcome them." Music started. One by one, the contestants came out to greet the audience. Ngozi came out first, walking slowly, smiling confidently. She waved her hand like a queen. The crowd clapped. Some people shouted, "Ngozi, Ngozi." Amarachi followed. She had a bright smile and her wrapper shone under the sun. People also clapped. Chisom and Oluchi came after, receiving their share of cheers. Finally, it was Good News' turn. The master of ceremony called her name. "Next is Good News." The crowd became quiet for a moment. Some people looked at each other. Some whispered, "Is she the one with the forehead?" Good News stepped out slowly. Her wrapper was neatly tied. Her blouse was simple but clean. She walked gently, not too fast, not too slow. Her hands were firm and she looked straight ahead. Some people in the crowd laughed quietly. Others watched in silence. Chiamaka, who sat at the front row, shouted, "Go Good News! Show them!" Good News reached the center of the stage, greeted the judges politely, and returned to her line. The master of ceremony lifted the microphone again. "Now, we will begin with the cultural questions segment. Each contestant will be asked a question about our Ubakala culture. The judges will score them based on confidence, correctness, and expression." The crowd clapped in excitement.